So here we are at Quixel.com, and there's a couple really cool apps that you're gonna want to install if you're a 3D artist or aspiring to be a 3D artist. The first of which is MegaScans. So you can see all three here: MegaScans, Quixel Bridge, and Quixel Mixer. And these are all really great applications. First off, MegaScans, the largest and fastest growing 3D scan library. And these assets are high quality, production ready assets. And Quixel Bridge is number 2. It's your gateway to MegaScans and MetaHumans. So Bridge serves as a way to easily import your MegaScans and MetaHuman assets into Unreal Engine. And then finally, Quixel Mixer. And this is texturing made simple. So you could do some really complex 3D textures for free in Quixel Mixer. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we need to do is sign up for an account. Click sign in and register. If you have an Epic Games account, you can log in with that. And I'm just going to log in with my Epic Games account. Click allow. And okay, now let's start with Quixel Bridge. So we want to download Bridge. So as Bridge downloads, let's take a look. Discover a world of content with Bridge. Much to explore. Browse the libraries of MegaScans and MetaHumans content in a quick and artist-friendly way through Bridge. And trust me, this is a really great tool that you're gonna love. You can seamlessly export to your favorite 3D application or game engine with one click. It'll save time and have fun creating. And I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun to use. And you can see right here, I'll primarily use Blender and Unreal Engine, but you can also utilize these assets in Cinema 4D, Maya, Houdini, and a lot of other applications as well. Bridge offers a variety of formats, from the standard FBX to up-and-coming standards such as USD and MDL. You can see, it, as far as format-wise, is very, very flexible. So these all look very cool, and I'm excited to dig in. So let's go ahead and open our download. Our Bridge installer is open. We just drag this to applications. And let's open it up. Importantly, we need to set our library path. I'm happy with that default location. So we're just going to download an updated plugin. I'm currently using Unreal Engine 5.3. Okay, so this is it. This is Quixel Bridge. So let's go ahead and click sign in. I'm going to sign in with my Epic Games account. You could scroll down here and see some assets that they have. New surfaces, a new 3D model, so roasted quail. So to begin with, let's say we wanted to download these stumps. So you just select the asset. This pops up here, which allows us to take a look. And then as you see here, we can select our resolution. I'm just gonna go with 4K. I think that will be fine. And then download. Okay, now let's jump over to Unreal Engine. You can see I have a scene set up here. And let's say we wanted to add a tree stump right over here by this tombstone. First thing we have to do is go Windows, Quixel Bridge. You can open up Quixel Bridge inside of Unreal Engine. And so let's go to 3D assets and nature. Let's go with this bone. Let's see if we can find an animal skull. Cool. Let's go with this one, first one. So click quality. Let's go high quality. And of course we have to sign in. Let's use our Epic login for that. And we're totally logged in now, so go ahead and click download. And once your download is complete, click add. And now this is going to create, hopping over to Unreal Engine, you can see a MegaScans folder has been created, 3D assets, and animal skull. So let's just take our static mesh of the animal skull. So if you double click the static mesh, we can pull it up here and take a look at it. And you can see this is a beautiful scan. It's totally free, and you're able to add this to any project, whether it's commercial or personal. So let's go ahead and close this out and drag this into our scene. So you just, and we can minimize bridge. So you just grab your static mesh. And there it is. And of course you have the full ability here to rotate it or scale it up. Let's give it a spin. Let's make it very large. And you can see with just like a drag and drop, you have a skull integrated into your scene that looks, you know, really pretty good for very little effort. You can also do the same thing with materials. So let's go ahead and search for, let's say, a concrete material. Let's say for some reason we wanted to make this tombstone look like it was built out of cinder blocks. So select your object and then select inside bridge, select the asset that you want to download, click download, then click add. So you can see here under MegaScans, and a surfaces folder was created, and then the cinder block texture is in that folder. So now all you have to do is replace that texture with the one you downloaded, and the texture updates just like that. Maybe a little strange to have a tombstone textured as a cinder block, but it looks very realistic. You can see, look at all the, you can get very close to it and it still looks really good. So the quality on these textures that you're gonna get from Quixel Bridge are just quality textures. I mean, these are fantastic. So definitely check it out. Now, hopping back to Quixel, let's take a look at MegaScans. So to start, we're going to click on Explore MegaScans. And here there are a ton of amazing assets. For example, let's just go Arctic ice and snow. Okay, so you can see Quixel MegaScans assets are here so that you can download them from the website and use them on your 3D project. But if you already have the Quixel Bridge app installed like we do, you can find the same assets and download them directly into your project. So let's hop back over to Quixel MegaScans, and let's say this ice cliff, which I do like a lot. So if we search ice cliffs, you can see we have an ice cliff here, and we can click download. And add. And click here to add to our project. You can see Ice Cliff was created here. You can double click to look closely, and this is a beautiful scan. This looks amazing. Super high quality here, and optimized for real-time rendering. And once this is downloaded and added to your project, you can just simply drag from Bridge directly into your viewport. So let's just grab this ice cliff and drag it over. And there it is. You can see right away all the lighting is impacting our 3D model, and it looks really nice and integrated into the scene almost effortlessly. And if we hop back over to Quixel.com, the last app I want to talk about today is Mixer. So let's go ahead and start by downloading the app. And as this downloads, let's take a look. You can see this is one tool for a variety of texturing needs. 3D texturing made easy. Load your mesh, apply some smart materials, and 3D paint the finishing touches. It's that easy. And this tool is super easy to use. It's intuitive, it's fun to use, and it's a really great tool to have if you're working in Unreal Engine. You can create amazing materials. You can mix sculpturing, painting layers, and procedural masks with the entire MegaScans library to create any material imaginable, all possible through one simple tool. It's also easy to learn, right? Mixer is known for being extremely fun and easy to use without compromising power or quality. You'll love how straightforward Mixer is to use and adapt to your art style and vision. And these are some examples right here. Look at these beautiful textures. super rich and layered and complex. Various different styles and techniques, all integrated into Bridge. So once you create these, you can easily bring these into your project. And here we are. So join a vibrant and open ecosystem. And this is what I actually prefer to use, right? The Unreal Engine, MegaScans, Bridge, and Blender. So let's go ahead and open our install file. Okay, let's click next, go through the setup wizard. Okay, so now let's go ahead and launch Mixer. Let's use our credentials from Epic to log in. Okay, so you can see right here we have some sample mixes, and here is going to be our project. So if we want to make a new project, we can click here, but to begin, let's open up this Snowy Mountains texture. Wow, it's an awesome texture. So zoom in with the mouse wheel, click the mouse wheel and hold to drag side to side. So you can see we have a couple different layers over here, and we can turn them off one by one just to see what they have going on. So snow tops, if we shut that off, you can see the tops of the mountains. Snow cover, the bottom, erosion, mountains, base, and that's our solid color. So we can turn them back on one at a time. So here's our base, and you can see these are just basically, these are all procedural textures layered on top of each other. So you can see right here your base settings. So you can see your opacity, your albedo, metalness. So all your different attributes are right down here, and you can just click to open them up, and you can turn them on and off by clicking the checkboxes. So move into mountains. Obviously, there's going to be some displacement going on with this layer, right? So let's dig in a little deeper. So you turn that on. You can see, sure enough, there's a displacement here. We have a strength attribute, so we can turn that off. And you can adjust the opacity on that, and you can see in real time the mountains rise up from the ground, depending on this slider. Then we have a roughness setting, and it's subtle, but you can see without that roughness, it kind of reflects a little more. It's a little smoother. And cool. So then we go to erosion, which my guess is more displacement. So if we turn that down, we can actually control the erosion. But you can see all these settings, all of these are basically procedural materials just stacked on top of one another to create this final texture. And when you're happy with it and you're good to go, you can click setup, and you can choose what we're building here, right? You can choose what the model that you'll apply this to. Here, in this case, a plane. You can select the size. I think 2 meters by 2 meters is fine. Your texture resolution, around 2000 pixels, I think is a good place to be. You have some render settings here that we're not going to be concerned with at the moment. Performance, and this is always good to kind of sort through and optimize for your system. And finally, export. So we want to set an export location. In this case, I'm just going to add this directly to my project, my content folder. And typically we would click export to disk right here, but in this case, I don't think we really want this. Let's go ahead and make a new mix. So go File, New Mix, and let's call it Test. open our layers pan. You can see right here we're starting with a blank slate, but there is a library here. So if we open up our library, we can select a layer here, and now we're not starting with nothing, right? We have this cool material to begin with, and we can modify this if we wanted to. We can go to displacement and just turn the strength up a little bit to make the displacement a little more, or if you want to go the other way, you can make it a little lower the strength. Whatever it is, we're going to start here, and then just as a quick example, I want to add maybe this zinc spangle. So this is just a very different texture, and then what I want to do is mix between the two. So you can see, because the zinc doesn't have a displacement, if we take if we go back to our rock cliff texture and change that displacement strength, you can see it's like almost now it's like the zinc is at the bottom of like the low points of the texture. But you can see if the displacement strength goes too far, it starts to kind of tear and look crummy, so I don't want to go quite that far. In fact, let's get rid of the zinc for a second, and let's add a liquid layer. So right up here, add liquid layer. You can see the water filled in the lower lying pieces here. So this looks pretty cool. So you can go in here and change this. We'll go so we can raise or lower or raise this wherever we want it. We can increase the detail. We can adjust the strength on the turbidity and we can control the depth here. There's a moisture threshold here. And here, if I go to the albedo, we can change the color. And what else do we want to do? Let's add some kind of displacement, right? And let's say we're happy with that texture for now. So let's go ahead and export to disk. And you can see, just like that, our textures have been created. You can see each of these layers were created and added right here. So let's hop back over to Unreal. Create a new world. Now let's bring over let's just bring over these textures. Let's bring over these images. And we'll add a plane. Okay, and there's our plane. So all we have to do is, let's start with this albedo, and if we drag this over to the plane, the engine will create a new material for us, which we can open up and just drag in the rest of our assets. So our ambient occlusion, our displacement, metalness, normal, and roughness images, we can pull those in. Pull those into the material graph. Plug these into your material node. Once you have your images lined up here, you can just connect the nodes. Let's go roughness to roughness, normals to normals. And you can see when I select the image, it's displayed right here some metalness. So just drag this metalness to metallic. This is ambient occlusion, AO, so we take this to the ambient occlusion. And finally, displacement. We take to pixel depth offset. So let's apply and save this material. Now let's add it to our scene. Now let's see it in our scene. And there you have it. We downloaded and installed Quixel Mixer and Quixel Bridge. We took a look at MegaScans. We created a custom material and we imported some very cool free 3D assets from Quixel. I really hope you learned something here. I want you to experiment and play with this. These tools are getting so powerful and they're available for free. So I encourage you to get out there and test with them, make something really cool, and feel free to share your work with me. Like, follow, and subscribe, and check back often because there's a lot more to talk about.